Ladies and gentlemen, words cannot describe my appreciation because Kailen Williams is back, and we're going to do our second segment of Shot of Reality number 2. So before we get into that, Kailen, what is going on, my great friend?
Moving into my new apartment as like the Tetris behind me and the glorious Ortiz jersey.
Oh, you could take that off, gorilla ass. He's a gorilla.
Yeah.
Hey,
get hit.
He's tested positive for PEDs. I know that's the one advice that Red Sox fans want to deny.
No, it's like I'm not denying that in the slightest, but look at the entire Yankees roster.
Listen, you could go with that. If I'm just saying, if Ortiz gets in, A-Rod should get in, despite A-Rod's suing baseball, that whole fight. But if you're going to let someone with PEDs clearly tested positive for it in,
okay,
let the other ones have the numbers.
Instead of the Yankees-Red Sox argument, how about fuck the Astros?
Oh,
they should have their World Series taken away.
Rob Manfred, the cowardice move, not taking it away. You just straight up stole a World Series. You stole games to get in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Well, at least like let's have like instead of putting each other down, let's have like we have a common enemy because fuck the Astros.
They both screwed us over. Our team's over.
I'm not happy about it, but no, it's pretty kind of like quiet weekend. The movers came in Saturday after like afternoon wise. Finish up like the last load of my stuff. My dogs are settling in. Got a tarantula because why the fuck not? I like when I haven't named it yet. It's still like a juvenile. It's only like a couple months old, so I can't even like really handle it. But
okay,
it's to be determined. I have one person saying Tony because Sopranos, and then somebody else saying Bagel. Yeah, and then somebody saying Bagel since I'm on Long Island. So we'll see what's going on there. But work's going work, and I'm in 2-week quarantine because coworker popped positive for COVID, and I got the notification yesterday, and I've had the first round. I have it in like a few weeks, so life's going fan-fucking-tastic right now. But what's new with you?
Just moving with the show. We're now past 60 episodes. This is number 62 officially on this, so big public day. Thank you, Kailen, for helping make it to that day and being a great guest as well. But it's applying to jobs. I went to SNL last weekend in the studio audience, and that was thrilling. Just enjoying my favorite show, or I should say technically my 5th favorite show of all time. But
what's your other favorites then?
It goes in order: Sopranos, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, SNL.
Okay.
That's my Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
And if you want to just put Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad since they're in the same universe.
Yeah.
And they started filming Better Call Saul. Looks like early 2022, they said. And every single week I'm going to do a recap. You watch Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Oh, man. We're going to nerd out about this after we do this. But yeah, that's just really it. Just move the show, applying to jobs and, having fun, trying to have great weekends like you had last weekend. You know what I mean?
You know what? Sometimes when somebody falls asleep in bed, you just want to go play your PS4.
In the most victory lap way possible. Am I right?
You're right, my friend. You're right. I wanted to go play Yeehaw Skyrim. I wanted to go run around and be a cowboy in Red Dead Redemption 2. Come on.
I mean, that's what I wanted to do after what happened that you went all over the world for. So you guys can reach out to Kayla.
I just got like three Tinder hoes just like Snapchatted me, texted me, and a Tinder message. So putting the phone down for this one, boys. So let's get into it.
I will do it as well. Phones away, and let's have some fun with this. So, Kailen, just if you could just recap me and my audience what Shot of Reality is, and then we'll hop right into it.
All right. For those who didn't listen to my episode, it's Shot of Reality. It's essentially no bullshit, dear Abby. I give the advice that your friends are kind of like too afraid to give you because they don't want to piss you off, upset you. And I'm just like, don't care. It's like last week's episode, somebody's like, oh, my boyfriend was sending sexual gifts to another girl. I saw him on his phone. And I'm like, why are you going through his phone? and get the tough answers.
Right.
So it's basically that, giving you the answers that you may not want to hear, but that you actually need to hear.
Exactly. So just like that, we're going to answer some people's questions. We're going to answer some people's advice. We're going to help you through this crazy time that you're in. And yeah, Kailen, why don't we hop right into it? We have 6 today, right?
Yep, we have 6. We have, all right, first one start off. Let's go with number 1.
All right, number 1. All
right. What is the best Netflix and chill movie?
The best Netflix and chill movie. So when I'm
Netflix and chilling,
when the Netflix and chilling, obviously there's a difference between watching a deep analytical Oscar-worthy picture, and then you could watch something in the background. So I think the best Netflix and chill movies are the ones that are easy to watch. Maybe have like a great comedy, like an Adam Sandler comedy. Don't have to be too serious and stuff. I think something lighthearted, go for that. Maybe the I would say, something that's just fun around, like maybe 50 First Dates or The Wedding Singer or Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. My answer to that, the best Netflix
Adam Sandler movies, yeah.
Adam Sandler movies. And since he has the deal with Netflix, I think
all of them are there,
a lot of fun. And we know Adam Sandler, one of the jokes in his movies, he always has the girl out of his league. Maybe that could relate. When they have the typical Adam Sandler making out with his hot girlfriend character, you could be like, hey, you want to do that too? And then one thing leads to another, and
bada boom, bada bing.
And then you're naked watching Happy Gilmore. So that's my suggestion. I say anything Adam Sandler from Netflix. What would you say, Kailen?
Well, last movie I Netflix and chilled to was with my ex, and that was The Exorcist. So I don't really.
What? On,
it was during it was like during like October, and like he'd be like coming over just for like movies, like us like grab dinner movies and stuff, and innocently movies, like actual like just spending time together. And well, this bitch got me distracted during The Exorcist, and that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. But I definitely agree with you. It's a matter of look, okay, it's a quality Halloween movie. Plus, I mean, if you watch it during Halloween, she gets scared, she cuddles in closer to you.
Fair.
Like, don't knock it. Yeah, exactly. Don't knock it just shit. Well, I don't get scared during it. But I have to say it's something that's probably a little bit more like humor related that you can like put on in background noise.
Yeah.
Kind of like how some people like when they're studying put on like Law and Order or something that's like daytime TV wise. But
you just want to add to the mood too. Everyone likes
it. No, you want to like something to keep it light because you don't want to go in watching like Shutter Island when you want her to be like gagging on your dick. Like that's not how this works. It's not how this works.
When you were watching The Exorcist and you were in position, like while you were doing the deed, did the climactic exorcism scene happen? You just hear the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you, and then you're doing something Jesus don't want you to do, technically, unless you're married.
Like,
and then he can hear you. I see this.
No, because I think we ended up just pausing the movie.
Just pause it outright.
Just pause it, like fuck it. Like I'm distracted right now.
Would you say like that's the craziest Netflix and chill movie, like in terms of just the type of movie that's in the background?
Yeah,
movies.
Yeah, I think it's like classic, up there.
One of the greatest of all time. But from any Linda Blair just going batshit crazy. I mean, when you hear like when she's when you have the voice changer and he's like, suck my dick to the priest and stuff. Like, you put like, that on.
Oh no. I think I like during it, I was mid fellatio and she had said that to him. And I said, at least you won't have to worry about me spitting up. Like she did the the projectile vomiting. So that was fun. But I have to say no, to go back to the question, it's go with something more lighthearted, more like comedy is definitely good. Like Will Ferrell comedies are good. Adam Sandler. You can even like make it cute or whatever and be like, okay, well, let's rock, paper, scissors, who chooses the movie sort of thing. Just to like, because if it's the first time you guys are meeting, like it's going to be one of those, both of you are on edge, not like, sure, you might be drinking or something, but just to knock that initial edge off. Just like keep it cute and lighthearted.
You know what's another good thing? Like classic 90s. There's two things I would say. Classic like kid shows. Just don't make sure you don't actually like them, so you don't have to associate some random hookup with all that. Or hey, I don't know.
I don't want some random bitch like ruining Rugrats for me. Yeah, basically.
I think that was, and you know, it's another good one.
What?
This is Bulletproof. So I like Andy Cohen. I think he's awesome. Real famous, you know, Real Housewives. He's on the wall on there. I read his 3 books. Watch a great Netflix and chill is Watch What Happens Live. That's awesome, especially Plead the Fifth. And honestly, they really do that. What we're just doing here, people get open or revealing, drinking. I think that's a great Netflix and chill too, or I should say YouTube and chill.
Yeah, I have to also say, there's just like comedian like actual like sets are also a really good thing. They're like There's this one recently. He had like the Scottish guy had a biting sense of humor. I think like he was talking about his younger sister who was special needs, and she was like really special needs. Like his parents were really smart too. I can't remember it, but he had some like biting comedy, and I was like, ooh, like it's so bad, but it's so good at the same time.
Right.
Hold on, Scottish comedians, Netflix. I'll find this shit.
You know, one movie.
Daniel Sloss is his name. Daniel Sloss.
That's a name.
I highly recommend the sets that he's had. I was like dying of laughter. And I was like, I'm going to hell for laughing at this. I'm going to hell.
You know, another thing, I don't do this as often anymore. Again, it has to be the right person, but you know, music and fucking. You ever play music while fucking?
A few times. I think like the only like last really 2 times I can think of, it's once it was right at the start of the pandemic, really like early March, like the first week before everything shut down, and I had an afternoon visit with one of my cop friends, and we had played something like this random like heavy metal playlist from like so, and it's like I still have that playlist, and I still like sometimes like some of the songs would come up, and I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, so I remember exactly what I was doing during this song, because I don't normally listen to those songs.
That's the only thing that's tough, playing the music association. Unless it's really great, of course. Like, there's definitely some weekend songs I've put in there. And
of course, the weekends are like weekend is like a classic for sex.
Obviously, you
soundtracks.
I have my weekend beard right now, obviously, right, and then I have my hair a certain way.
So when are you going to start getting the plastic surgery?
Obviously, probably right after the vaccine in a couple weeks.
I'm not sure. You gotta make sure you're safe going into the hospital for surgery.
Definitely,
but yeah, no, it's music, comedy, like basically go with comedy. That's final standpoint. It's light, easy, gets you guys relaxed, make jokes towards each other sort of situations. So
have fun. And the last but not least, do we do any like a movie that's like hardcore about sex, or sex plays a huge place in the plot, like 50 Shades of Grey, or
oh my
Secretary.
God, that piece of bullshit. Secretary is actually a really good movie.
Yeah, like
oh dude, man, it's a really good movie to demonstrate kink, but fuck 50 Shades of Grey. Definitely. But do
the overly sexualized movies work?
It depends on the person. I think, like, say if I went over to a guy's place and he wanted to watch 50 Shades of Grey, I'm gonna be like I would make like actively like, no, let's watch something else. But like instantly, I'm just like, yeah, no, he's not getting a second date with me.
50 Shades of Grey.
It's such a bullshit movie.
It's funny how I get older and I find that there are more people than you think that are actually into S&M and stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's right. You too.
Yeah, I'm a kinky little bitch. But yeah, don't go with like overly. I highly recommend like, unless you guys have established that like before meeting up, like how, for example, Saint Nick and I talking beforehand, that we didn't obviously watch a movie. I mean, I know we binged all of Letterkenny in one night, like the new season.
Letterkenny.
I'd actually watched it. We just made out like heathens during commercial breaks. But no, just stay away from overly sexualized things unless like that's something that's obviously kind of like foreplay, like setting the mood sort of thing. But generally speaking, just don't do it, guys. Don't do it.
Exactly. And no watching porn while do it either. Or no. do you watch porn? The porn and chill. Take some steps.
Actually, no, I've never porn and chilled, but I have given porn recommendations. Like we've obviously like not in the middle of it, but like when you're
I saw this in a movie. I saw this on browsers.
Movies. Like, hold on a second. Like, as like I'm getting railed like doggy, I'm like, hold on a second. Like I have a video to show you. Like, no, I didn't do that. But no, nah, never porn and chilled, but I have given links of videos I've liked. Because like obviously like talking with the guy, like, oh, we share this kink in common, like, oh, I have a fucking good video for that, let me share, let me spread the gospel sort of situation. But otherwise, no. You know what, I should ask MK if he wants to porn and chill.
All right, I hope that it works out and you have to give us the report after.
All right, so number 2, and by the way, that first one was from Norm Howe. Second one is from Chris Pringles. What is the best kind? Yes, Chris Pringles. What is the best kind of first date? When do you make that first move? When does the vibes I start? I think like when do I start the vibes is what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Like it depends, like really what you guys have communicated, what you've wanted beforehand. Like they okay, I'll just use Saint Nick for example. We were bantering back and forth and I had to take my dogs out and we were just like giving each other the eyes while I was getting the leashes and collars on them. And sly little smirks, like kisses were made, and he pulled my hair because that fucker's bald, and I'm just like, I can't concentrate on Monopoly now, but I still did. I still won. But I think it true, like to answer the first part of that question, it depends on the person. Like do something like the both of you guys like together. I on my first dates prefer getting to sit and talk with the person. Like here's a pro tip, guys. The conversation starters with women. One of my go-tos is, if you were an action figure, what would your 3 accessories be?
You asked that to them, like right off the bat.
Yes, that's one of like my conversation starters because it's different. It's like getting to know their personality better, and it shows like it's not like some random pickup line. Because I know like back in the day, I would just, are you fucking kidding me? It was like, oh, how much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice. And I'm like, but I swear to God, if I see another Tinder like pickup line given to me, I'm gonna scream.
The one you copy and paste from Tinder pickup lines to use from BuzzFeed.
Oh my God. People are fucking doing it. But to go on to the second part of the question, when do you make the first move? It's after like you've established like, okay, they're interesting to you. And the vibes that they're giving off you like, but you have to read the situation because say like you're going out playing like mini golf or something and you guys are just talking, you don't want to make the move and just go like start sucking face in the middle of it because she's like obviously not thinking about that problem. Yeah. Maybe, who knows, maybe she is like while you're putting, she's thinking about like, oh, 1,000-yard stare, like is he going to be railing me later sort of thing. But it's all dependent on the woman. So it's, as I said in the first episode, communication, because that way both of you guys get what you want and it's not just one-sided that leads to resentment and everything. And then when do you start the vibes? Depends, like goes back to the, what do you want? Do you just want a one-night stand? Do you want a friends with benefits? Do you want a relationship? That's going to determine what. Hi, Lana. Sidebar, this is Lana. This is my rescued Rottweiler.
What up, Lana?
Yes. It depends on the vibes she's giving off, most importantly, because if she's thinking just friends, you don't want to go trying to kiss her.
Yeah.
But you really have to read the situation, because I've even made mistakes where I thought a guy was into me and he wasn't. And I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. I'm like so embarrassed. And I mean, I recovered like via the use of sarcasm. So thanks, biting sense of humor. But generally speaking, don't make the move until you get the vibes from her. And when you start to think like, oh, I think I'm getting the vibes from her, that's when you start putting them out. And how to put those vibes out, it's entirely different from the person. Like when I like start giving my vibes, and there's the corgi puppy, I'll like say if I'm sitting next to a guy at a bar, like I'm facing forwards towards the bar, and I'm just like occasionally like looking over like this, I'll shift my entire body language with somebody. Like even if I've had somebody like sitting on my couch with me, and like, because my go-to is hockey and chill. It's not Netflix and chill, it's hockey and chill. And like during the second half of the second period and onwards, my body language shifts towards the guy. So I'm sitting more sideways facing him while he's facing the TV, and I'm like occasionally looking that way. But unfortunately, I can't give a straight answer to this because it's all situational and it's all dependent on the people involved. But much like the first question from Norm Hal, I say keep it light, keep it easy. If COVID restrictions are off in your area, go out and do something, because that's how you truly get to know somebody and whether or not you want to stick your dick in them, because sometimes this helps you detect crazy a little bit earlier in life, rather than like, oh crap, this bitch is gonna slash my tires.
Yeah, I think you're right. One of the things I know, it's, you know, when you find out to when to, first of all, like you said, with a date, the best way is to talk with someone and sit and chill and take the time. I've made the mistake, though it's worked a couple of times, of doing the walk-in dates, and so a couple of times it worked out, but other times it didn't. So then I realized, I think when you sit down, don't go for a full dinner. I think a lunch is fine. Drinks, prefer the drinks or the milkshake. And then you could actually just speak and coerce and show your intentions too. And like you said, it's basically when to make a move, type of thing. It's kind of obvious. And I think the biggest seller in this is, as you said, is the body language. Are they putting their entire body towards you? Are they playing with your hair? Are they actually looking at you? Are they paying attention to their phone? It's like stuff like this is kind of obvious. And when it comes to actually making the first move, I personally just ask like, hey, can I kiss you? Or I think especially lately with how things have gone down in the dating world, like it is kind of obnoxious to just go in and just kiss someone. Yeah. I think if
the situation's there, like the initiative is good, but
and like if they're putting their face closer to your face, or like if they're like holding your leg into something, like putting their hand on the legs, like having that sense of touch, then like,
or just like say if this is your leg and they're just like idly touching it while you guys are watching the movie or something, like making contact with you.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying these signs are obvious when they say, hey, you could make a move, I feel. And also what helps me knowing if they're interested right away, I really try not to go out with people unless they actually are interested. Like they say stuff like, hey, I'm excited to meet you. I can't wait till we meet. I think you're really attractive. I think you're really cute. I think when they have those signs, do it right away.
Yeah.
If you just go in, talk without any flirting and just saying like, hey, let's meet up, sometimes it could work. But I think most of the time it isn't. You have to give them a reason to be excited and wanting to see you. So that's what I think. You have to show your intentions before you even meet. Like, know that you guys are legit attracted to each other, and don't have that obvious. And then you'll feel more comfortable to make that move. And personally,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, for me, I prefer to not make a move like that until at least the second date, only because I want to give that kind of mystery. I want to allow like a reason to come back.
A little tease.
Exactly.
Basically.
That's what I think is better in that sense. And that's why I could have less pressure to try to make a move on the first date. If I like took the time to get to know them and show the excitement and intent, then it all comes together. And if you don't really make a move by time after your second date, I think that's
basically the answer. Like, you don't want to waste your time.
Exactly, momentum killer. So I think don't worry about it till the second one, and then they'll make their attention zone. They'll say, hey, let's meet up. Hey, even if they cancel, let's reschedule to this because they legit wanted to talk to you and see. So it's all, let it flow together. It will work out. And you'll know when they legit are interested in you from their body language, if they touch. And, you know, in a world we're all obsessed with phones, if they put that thing down to have your one-on-one time with you,
that's important.
Something great can happen.
All right, so the third question, we have Stan. Okay, I don't know if this is the one that wrote to Eminem or not, but Stan. Matt and Kailen, why do girls on dating apps match me and either A, not respond to me, or B, unmatch me and let the match expire on Bumble without talking to me? Okay, I personally don't use Bumble because political reasons, but also I'm the type of woman I'll message first on Tinder, but
right.
It's either girls don't pay attention to their phones. Like, I am notorious. Like, hold on. I will do this right now. I have like 1, 2, 3. I have 5 messages I haven't responded to yet. And like, I have plenty of matches that I haven't initiated because I'm just like, look, I have like over 1,000 matches right now in Tinder Purgatory. Look, when I get bored, it's like was it Saturday? Sunday. I put my Tinder, like, casted it to my TV, and my best friend and I were swiping. I was like, hey, left to right. Yep. If you have, generally speaking, if you have smart TVs. But either they're I wouldn't say not interested, but I will say this, I am more inclined to respond to a message that's not hey or hey, so something basic. Like, messages have to have a little bit more substance for me to respond, but
make yourself so different.
Like full of, like, I mean, it makes me sound like a horrible person, but somebody who takes the time to read my bio clearly is like, hey, I'm at least like somewhat interested in you. Even if it's just to have sex, it's like they're taking the initiative. And that's all really what you need to do. So I wouldn't take it too personally, because it's like, would you guys stop? Mom is in the middle of something, okay? I wouldn't take it too personally if they're not responding, because Bumble, a lot of people just don't look at their phones. I don't. And guys on Tinder have like messaged me like multiple times during the day, and it's like, oh, like, guess you're not interested, blah blah. And I'm like, excuse me, like, I'm at work, like, I'm not constantly like looking at my phone, or hey, I'm taking care of my dog, the like Lana has a laundry list of allergies longer than a CVS receipt. So it's like, I have responsibilities that I have to attend to, and getting my proverbial dick wet is not one of them. So it's like I said, don't take it personally. Don't hound them with messages, because I know a lot of girls get turned off by that, and I am one of them. And I will. Yeah,
you want to show you have a life.
Exactly. Like, I will straight up, if a guy's like hounding me with messages like, oh, guess you're not responding, or like, guess you don't want to meet or talk or whatever, I just like swipe, like, unmatch, like, without even saying anything. I mean, there are times where I will say things, but that's just like once in a while, because I'm just like, this guy's really annoying me that I want to chime in and be like, go fuck yourself, buddy. Like, I remember I was in Boston for the World Series parade, and I had a guy like go out of his way to message me on Instagram and say, don't match with somebody unless you have the intent of meeting up. And I'm like, I live in New York. I'm in, what my baseball words of wisdom, what was it? Let's go scroll it. It was, here we go. Okay. Yeah, he said, don't match with people that you ultimately don't want to talk to, but if you get a message, don't be rude and ignore. I'm like, okay, cool. It said, I actually had to factory reset my phone and just never put Tinder back on it, so you can fuck off with the attitude. You went out of your way to message me on a social media platform purely because I didn't respond to a Tinder message. You seem to have more. This is like, I love creating baseball insults. It's like one of my favorite things to do in the world. You seem to have more issues than Manny Machado and playing baseball legitimately. Please reevaluate your life.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. Realize this. When you talk to anyone on dating apps, it is the exact same thing as meeting a girl at the bar. Exactly. You meet somebody, you might make eye contact, you might talk for only 5 minutes, and she walks the other way or you walk the other way. It's the same thing with these apps. Sometimes you hit it off, you got the match right, but people just lose the interest right away for other human things, and that's just how it be. And us personally know that we have situations like that, so we can't really get mad at someone who just doesn't feel it. And that's just the way it is. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you talk longer. Sometimes you get the number. You literally get the same way to get a number. That's just virtually. Then the same thing is in person. You meet somebody in person, you talk to them. So I think if you realize that it's the exact same way, it's just in a different form of communication, then you'll know that that's just how it is. Like you can't meet up with every single person you match. Oh man, that it's impossible, and you would have some life. But just understand that it's just another aspect of the human. Sometimes if they want to let you know, they'll let you know. That's one of the best advice I ever heard in terms of dating. And I think that's the case here with these apps too, Stan.
No. All right, Stan. Well, I hope that you find somebody. But all right, we have Ollie Me. I'm a straight male and like girls. I'm the kind of person who deletes and rejoins dating apps when I don't get matches. Sometimes I match with the same people and they never respond when I reach out, or they never reach out. Why does this happen? Is it okay if I say, hey, why do we keep matching? Okay, hi, I am a serial Tinder deleter. I will go swiping and I'll match with the same people. Like there's just one guy who I've never met up with, and we've matched like repeatedly and we just never make plans. And honestly, like, okay, so I have a TBI from my hockey injury, so I legitimately have memory issues, so I forget to respond. And I remember the last time we matched, I said, like, we joked and said, oh, how's the wife and kids, like the quarterly check-in sort of thing. But it's honestly, it's like from a woman's standpoint, it's obviously the like Tinder, Bumble, whatever, Hinge, all of it's skewed in the woman's favor. There are obviously more matches for us to like filter through. Like we have essentially the pick of the litter. We can be pickier, but that way it's not us not responding isn't like a slight towards you. It's just like, hey, like it's like being magpies, like, ooh, something shiny, like something else has caught our interest. So I wouldn't take too personal effect. I mean, I would say like make a joke out of it. Like, hey, why do we keep matching? Instead of like sounding like something accusatory, make a joke out of it. Be like, oh Lord, what would I say? What would you say in this situation, Matt? Like if you and I kept on matching and we'd have like we wouldn't have any conversations, but we kept on matching, what would you say?
Understand the human aspects of people just like you enough to match, but and like give you the eyes, but not enough, to either move for whatever reason. So just have fun with it and say like if I was in this situation, I would say, hey, how have you been since the last time we matched? Any update with everything? Life's good? I think something like that along those lines. Just ask for the friend, because I know like it's likely that we're not gonna meet up, because if we did, we would be meeting up. So I would just say something like, hey, hope all is well, or something like that. And
I like your response of the whole, like, hey, any updates since the last time we matched? Like
something like that. I think
keep it light.
The best way to get through these apps is not taking them seriously, not having understanding, not thinking you're gonna meet the love of your life. Some people do, but I think you just have to have fun with it, and a better way to show off your personality, and they could get more interest and a more of a comfortability to be open with you if you just show that this isn't that serious or deep.
Yeah, that's why whenever I'm on Tinder, like I have my bio and it's clear that I'm a relaxed person, and people are like, I remember having one guy, because I told him, he had responded like, oh, sorry for not responding, had a busy day. I'm like, hey, it's no big, like you have a life outside of your phone. And he's like, you're the first woman I've heard say that, because some people are just like, oh my God, you're not instantly responding to me, go fuck yourself. And I'm like, to like, we have lives outside of our phones. We can't instantly be like responding, and it's just like some of us may have like the good, like best of intentions, Ollie, like, oh, I might like, hey, I think like, oh shit, I see your alert, I read the message, but I don't think to respond. Or like I was like, oh, I put it on the mental to-do checklist, like I should respond to Ollie, but other things like take like priority, or like kind of like supersede it. And it's just like, I don't mean it to be rude, but it's just like I get distracted. It's like magpie situation, like, ooh, shiny, get distracted, lost that idea. And then you're like, oh shit, like when things really hit the fan, or like later down the line. So just my biggest recommendation is, like Matt said, keep it light. Be like, oh hey, and make a joke out of it, like, oh hey, like any updates since the last time we matched? Because if you come out accusatory or like rude or anything, all she's gonna do is either, yeah, you're gonna come across as a toxic person, and you're definitely not gonna meet up with her. So it's either, if you come across toxic, you're gonna either get called out for it, as I sometimes have. Most of the time I just like swipe, like unmatch them, or you are gonna get unmatched. So don't be toxic about it. Make a joke and see if it leads anywhere. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, it's literally a few seconds of your day typing a message. You have other things you can do. You can go play video games, like you can go read a book, you can go out, like it doesn't matter. Like these apps, like especially during the times of the pandemic, are like our only chance of socializing, because obviously we can't go out in bars. But and so I've even understood the frustration, because like, fuck, that was a really good opener. Nobody, and he didn't respond to it. And I'm like, bitch, I actually read your profile and you didn't respond to me. Go fuck yourself. Like joking, like a little bit annoyed. But at the end of the day, this is like an attitude that I've carried in life, especially like dealing online with trolls and like being on like the internet, like Reddit and 4chan and everything. Like these are people you are never going to meet. So why do you care about their opinion?
Exactly. That's why you just have to have fun with it. Do the human aspect of it. Getting to interact and talk with people. At least they must have found you somewhat attractive, so at least have that in the bag. And we've definitely ran into people we saw, oh, they're really beautiful. I'm going to talk to them. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but at least they have that feeling for you, even if they're that split second. And just show your personality. If they like you, they like you. And I think that's, whether from online dating or real dating, and one of the best lessons I came up with is just to be myself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Because if you do all these weird things, like that's what I show right away, Kailen. I show myself right away. And if they really
we matched on Tinder,
yeah. So remember? if they really like me as a person, then well, I don't have to worry about the other aspects. Oh, do I have to do this? Do I have to do A plus B equals C? And if I just show myself, it'll again make themselves feel more comfortable to show themselves to me, and understanding and not expecting too much, because romance and all that, romance, fuck buddies and bays, there's a lot. Not a lot. That's not the right word. Not a lot, but it's it's different. It's special. It's a special thing and a special connection, and it doesn't happen for every single person. So even if it does it'll come together, and then it'll be the easiest thing you've done. And that's what I like when I talk to people who've been married a long time. Like the best advice is, especially when you speak of people of an older generation, and they all have the same answer. It's like, we just knew. It just
no,
fell
when you know,
together.
you know.
That's
like puzzle pieces.
So that's why it's no, I know more. Of course, every once in a while, I'm so saying, man, I really wish that would work out or do anything different. But then, taking a deep breath, realize, okay, I just have to be who I am. And if they like me for who I am, it'll all come together, and we'll have more fun times hanging out. The sex will be legit amazing. Because at the end of the day, of course, most of us have had amazing sex, and most of us have just had sex to get off. Sometimes they come hand in hand. And then some, but it's so much better to have sex with someone like you're genuinely like, and not trying to. I mean, of course, both people could be using each other just for a dick appointment as well.
Yeah.
But when you actually like the person, it's just so much better, and might as well, you have a better chance at that actually happening if you're just patient with it and you just show yourself, and then they'll show you. Then you'll be the exception. Haley Williams.
God, I haven't listened to her in forever. Thanks for now. I'm gonna listen to like Misery Business like while I'm cooking dinner after this. So I hate you right now. But no, I definitely. Oh God. I don't want to go down the emo. Like, okay, look, I had my emo days. I will show you a photo after this of my emo days. Black hair and lip ring included. So go fuck yourself, buddy. I hate you for this. But moving on. So we have Albert. I'm a more extroverted person. How does an extroverted person successfully date a more introverted person? All right, so I have this question like down pat because before my severe concussion, I was a golden retriever puppy. I was a very extroverted person, very, very social. I got my severe concussion. I became a cat straight up. Like, I don't want to be around people. I need my alone time. I need my recharge. Don't get me wrong. I'm what's called a extroverted introvert. And MK and I were talking about it earlier. And it's basically, yeah, we can be social. Everybody thinks we're like super cool and friendly, but we need to go home and chill the fuck out and we need to recharge. So if you guys are just kind of like in your intimacy, like the beginning stages of like the relationship, offer to just essentially pull a Mia from Pulp Fiction. Like the scene where she over milkshakes talking about like comfortable silence. That's essentially goals in a relationship. Like with an introvert, you kind of have to treat them like a scared like cat or horse. You don't want to spook them and be like, hey, just sit there, lay. Like I remember I had an ex who we would just like chill in bed because like obviously I wouldn't, sometimes I don't sleep well. I just take a nap, wake up. We'd just be chilling on our phones, like scrolling through Reddit, occasionally share memes, show it to the other, like, oh, send that to me so I can send it to a friend. It's those sort of things. Like when it comes to an introvert, you don't want to coddle them too much because they're going to pick up on it and they're going to get self-conscious about it. But ask them like, hey, what are things that we can do together that won't, I wouldn't say spook you, no, but what are things that we can do together that we don't have to go out? Like what are things we can do at home? Like we can play games on the computer or we can play like Jackbox. I mean, it's more of a group thing with Jackbox, but there are definitely like events that you can do together that you appease your need for socializing and wanting to connect with your girlfriend or boyfriend or what have you. And you're still acknowledging the fact that hey, I don't want to go out in public. I don't want to socialize. Even pre-pandemic times, I remember going to a party with my ex-boyfriend and I'm just like, do not want to be here, doing it for him, stay social for him. And that could lead to like resentment and everything down the line because it's thinking like, oh God, what am I doing here? But don't handle them with kids gloves is my biggest recommendation. As I always say, communicate. Just talk to them like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to stay in? Do you want to just go grab dinner together? And introverts will appreciate that because if you connect on their level and if you want to just like randomly watch something on Netflix, not even Netflix and chill, and you're watching something on Netflix, she's like laying on your lap, head in lap, playing Animal Crossing silently together. As an introvert, those are the times we remember more than anything. Stop. Those are the times we remember more than anything because they took the time to like respect the fact that, hey, I don't want to go out and socialize. I don't want to go out in public. I want to stay in my safe space, not to get all Tumblr about it. But like, for example, with me, my apartment is my safe space. I don't bring just anybody over. You have to be a special, like you have to be a certain level to achieve coming over and especially sleeping over. And it's just times I've spent, like, I remember having, what was it? With my ex, okay, Exorcist ex. No. So, okay, you remember Sauceless Meatball story I told you about?
Yep.
Sauceless Meatball was the exorcism guy. I was so fucking mad.
Coming together.
Yeah. And I remember there was one movie I can't remember that both of us fell asleep during, and I was like, it was comfortable. It was like cold outside. Window was cracked open behind us, and it was like a recipe for me to fall asleep. And even though he's a sauceless fucking meatball, I still respect that part about him because it's like, okay, both of us were comfortable enough to fall the fuck asleep together. It wasn't cuddling in bed where you could possibly handsy. It was like innocent on the couch. So just don't spook us. That's all I ask. We're basically like cats or horses. Like, don't force us into anything. Communication. And if we ask you, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Just give us that quiet sense of reassurance, because we're like, fuck, they're only doing this for us. And that sort of anxiety is running through our head.
Right. And that's the most important aspect as well, because it's all about being yourself. They will like you for who you are, even if they are completely different in terms of extrovert and introvert. I don't know the exact like category that is in human psychology, but like they'll like you for who you are, even if you're completely different from them. That's where the connection and bond goes. So you don't have to go out of your way to be crazy for them. And it's true. Opposites attract one way or the other. I really believe that. So don't make it harder for yourself. She'll like you for who you are. And then it's good to hear another perspective and being around with other perspectives as well.
And it makes you grow as a person on multiple levels. And,
Indeed.
you know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like, as cliche as it sounds, there are other fish in the sea. Like, you will find whoever you're supposed to be with. It's, even if it's just for right then, you'll find somebody that, like, for example, I can look at my previous partners and I can like think about things that they've taught me and how they've helped me grow as a person. So it's, they may not be your wifey and like she's like white picket fence, house, 3 kids, dog, whatever life, but you have to just look at it from like, okay, don't dwell on it, move on. And if shit happens, shit happens. You just learn from the situation.
Yes. And time heals everything, especially of our emotions, the most importantly. And that's why it will all come together. That's why dating, we can't take it so seriously as especially guys. I could speak on behalf of straight guys. I think we got to stop taking it so seriously. It will come together. There's no rush. We're all still very young, and you know, it's going to be okay. That's why in no more just hopping and being sexual innuendos, make it all about sex right away. It's about creating the bond right away. And that's when everything falls together. And like I said, nothing's better than having sex with someone you really like, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like,
agree. So
even if it's
do
just
what you have to do to get that bond to like each other.
Like, even if it's just like in that moment, like you guys are bonding, like with say Saint Nick and I, it's, we still took the time, we made that connection, and the sex was the best I've had. I'm never going to tell him that because I'm not going to inflate his ego, because we're probably never going to talk again. But it is what it is, and it's just like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You'll be fine. Get pissy about it, but don't dwell on it. Like, let yourself feel those things, but don't get mad about it. Because trust me, it's dwelling on things it's more negative than you actually realize. So, but
yeah, and sometimes it is inevitable for the human aspect, but you have to take a deep breath and let it go. It's going to be so much better, and you really will. I guarantee you, when you, in the aspect of things are meant to be, you'll sit back and realize, wow, I am so much better without that person in my life. That's a tough realization, but it's so enlightening, and I'm sure we've all know that feeling. So
that sense of like I would not reassurance, but reassurance, excuse me, but just like that. Wow, like, why was I upset over this person? Like my ex that I was like almost considering marrying. I'm like, why? Like, why was I upset over this? Like, he was a guy who couldn't cook. He couldn't even fucking boil water. Didn't know how to do chores around the house. Like, sure, he was intellectually smart, but he was just stupid otherwise. And I'm just like, nope, can't do it. And I'm like, you know what? I am a better person, because honestly, we probably would have gotten divorced in 2 years of marriage.
Yeah, you do not. That's the thing. When I'm getting married, I'm going to make sure.
One and done, baby. One and done.
Who wants to go through the divorce? I
think especially if you have kids.
Right. So it's gonna be okay for everybody. That's where the flow comes together. And then, I'm sure you've heard of guys who have post-nut clarity.
Yep. Oh, trust me, I have it myself.
I'm sorry, it is both a guy and girl thing. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
But no one wants the worst for anybody's when you nut and then you And you're like, oh, I gotta get out of here. I don't want to hang out yet. I say have sex with people that after you're done with the deed, you still want to hang out with them in bed. And
no, that's like MK from last night. I'm like, oh, we're still hanging out together. And it's, hi, Manny. Having people that you actually want to see, and even if like you don't have the like sexual aspect of the friendship anymore, like the friends with benefits, it's still good to have no people. Like I have a friends with benefits who sorry, the puppy is wanting attention. I still have a friends with benefits who like he's dating a girl right now, but we're still pretty good friends. We still go to hockey, like we went to hockey games together and everything. And it's like, it is what it is. Like shit happens. It's disappointing that we can't sleep together anymore, but that's all. He was like one of the first friends with benefits that actually put, even while we were fucking, he put a friend aspect to the friends with benefits more than just the benefits aspect. So, but sorry, go ahead.
And that's like, you know, the most recent girl I dated and was still bugged out when we broke up as friends. But then I really look it back like, wow, I did the podcast with Dre after our friendship ended. And then I was like, wow. And the best thing he said, don't beat yourself up if you truly did your best. And I'm aware of the mistakes I made and definitely could have changed them. But with everything going on in my life at the time, I did my best despite those mistakes, but I'm more prepared for them in the future. So then I realized I really did my best. I gave my best effort for this girl. She still didn't feel the same way for whatever reason. And you know what? I don't have to worry about that because I tried my best. And if she felt that way and let it go, that's more on her to not see what she had at the time. So, you know, whatever. I hope she's happy where she is, but I'm better and more happy without her. Yeah, and maybe she says the same about me, but it is what it is. But hopefully we both at least learn from each other.
All right.
At least I learned on my end. So I'm much better for it. So no regrets there.
So we have the final question.
What's up?
We have number 6. All right. So from Rupert Pumpkin says, I feel no matter what your sexual orientation is, both guys and girls, often match on dating apps, make a plan to meet up, and most of the time, not all, someone flakes out before the date. To Matt and Kailen, why do you think this happens? Is there any way that you can prevent it when you meet with someone? Is it better to make a date within a few days after you match or later on? All right, Manny, let's get down, Bubba. Thank you. I think yet again, back to like relating to a couple of the other questions, it's all situational. Some people like may not have the schedule to meet up immediately. Like generally speaking, I'm not meeting up with anybody until I'm properly moved into my apartment because this takes priority right now.
Of course.
Have I gone out? Have I had like a couple friends over? Yes, but these are people that I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't care if you guys see the mess. And it, I can't exactly give you a straight answer as to why. I actually pause. Tonight's like theme of questions is basically all, hey guys, it's situational because like say for example, I could be going out with the guy and oh shit, something happens to my dog and I have to cancel. And that seems like a very like, oh yeah, no, she's just canceling on me. She doesn't want to meet up with me. But yet again, there's like a legitimate emergency with my dog. And I'm sorry, Tinder guy aside, as I've actually had the situation happen recently, I told him, like, look, my dog is throwing up blood right now. She is more important than some random Tinder guy that's asking for nudes, not even 24 hours out of the gate. And he got all sorts offended. He got all sorts of offended about that and then tried to call me an alcoholic because like he had asked for photos of me because he didn't add me on Snapchat for whatever reason, whatever. And I said, hey, I'm not an alcoholic. These are just like I had sent a couple pictures of me drinking because those are the most recent photos I had because it's like a cardinal sin on Tinder profiles or dating profiles in general is like old photos. And it was just annoying as hell. And I wouldn't say there's necessarily any way that you can prevent it. It's genuinely on both ends. Like if they have to cancel, say it was like, okay, say if like this was a situation with me, like, hey, I hope your dog's okay. Let me know. We can reschedule whenever. Or don't even bring that up. Like if I had a guy who was more like, okay, hey, just text me about her because I tell them my dog's names. It's Lana and Manny. Manny's the corgi. And Like, text me how Lana's doing later, concentrate on her. If somebody shows like the effort there, I'm like, okay, this guy isn't a piece of shit. Maybe I can give not maybe, but I can give him a chance rather than him like, oh, fuck you for canceling on me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Like, that's all I can say to that is what? No amount of expletives I could say could cover that. That situation with this gentleman, Kevin was his name.
Kevin.
Yeah. It's always the fucking Kevins, man.
Damn, Kevin, like, Kevin, Brad, Chads.
Kevin is like the new Kyle.
Kyle.
In my book.
Kyle.
Honestly. Like, oh God, fucking Kyle. Punching drywall and drinking monsters. But it's, like I said, I don't think there's really any true way you can prevent it, but it's just like, keep the, yet again, communication, keep it open. If things happen. Keep a neutral attitude for it, because the moment we, like, women pick up on the guy being annoyed or like upset that we have to reschedule or whatever, we're like, we're not gonna like reschedule, like, bye guys, we're going to leave and just essentially ghost or create some sort of excuse to not meet up. So it's all a scheduling thing. If women don't have the time just right then, I'm like, okay, cool, like, let's make something up like next week. Like, I have MK and I were originally set to meet on Friday of next week. Sorry, phone popped up. And he ended up, we just met yesterday, and like good times all around. But I could have canceled on him, say if like Lana didn't do it, but I didn't. And I know that he would have been the type of guy that, like I said, take care of your dog, like, we can reschedule. If I had a guy who's like, oh, what the fuck? Why weren't you responding to me, etc., I'm just like, yeah, no, block, and I'm done and moving on.
Yeah, that just shows you to my point is they want to let you know, they'll let you know. They want to make the time to do it, they will. Just think about all the people you're jealous of in terms of like whether it's relationships. You see the people who have these people coming at them and attracted. They made the time to see each other. That's the same case for you. And of course, it's human that, I mean, of course, there's times where we make plans. Sometimes they're really about it. Like when I made, when I went to SNL and invited the people I invited, they are going to flake on SNL. But if I was like, hey, you want to go to the bar and like hang out? Like,
oh, fuck you. You didn't invite me?
Hey, it was a certain situation with family and my two oldest friends, but I genuinely I genuinely will bring you to a show. I get these tickets all the time, I promise. And I'm on camera saying that. That's the only reason why. I just took
and we will go to Korean barbecue.
Yes. I took my brother, my cousin, and literally my oldest friends.
Aww.
So that's why I chose them. Wasn't anything different than their plus one. So that's the only reason why I brought them. It didn't exclude anyone as I wanted to. So, but anyways, sometimes people make bar plans and they flake on that, and it's just human nature. There's no incentive. I mean, it's shitty. You should really consider what you're agreeing to. Well, that's just how it is and how it be. And at least put your effort there. And like, if you want to show up, make sure you're excited to be there and you want to show up. Because
people pick up on those details when you meet up in person, whether or not you're excited about things.
Yes.
Or interested.
Exactly.
More so than like excited.
Hence why also the first dates I prefer stuff this small. Like if I'm going to buy you a drink, I'm down to, you know, if it doesn't work out, just lose $8,
like
$12 on a beer rather than a whole meal. That's why putting these things out, if they want to meet you, they will. They'll go out of their way. I have seen some of the most awful, especially I realized that when I was in a frat and sorority girls, I've seen some of one of the most awful frat dudes, the way he just treated girls and stuff. I remember this dude literally called this girl a bitch at a party. Before you know it, at the end of the party, they're fucking. He was my roommate. I heard him fucking. And I'm just like, wow, even it was disgusting. It's sad, and I'm sad. It's just bummed that I'm sad, it's up to her decision, whatever, but you still wanted to beat him, even though he didn't deserve that. That like just showed me like, wow, like why, if they really want to make the effort, and definitely don't do what he did. It's a scumbag, awful thing.
No.
And but it'll come through. They'll want to do it, and it makes things better. Hence, just make yourself in situations where you don't take, or even if it's a loss, you're not losing too much, and you just laugh about it and move on. So that's why I say you really can't. You kind of just have to risk it in a way. Just
risk it for the biscuit.
That's why before you make a plan, know at least they're interested in you. Make sure they say complimentary things. Make sure they flirt back. Make sure they respond fast.
Or not even respond,
or in a timely manner. In a timely manner.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll say a timely manner.
If I have a guy like instantly responding to me, like certain people, that's okay with if I've gelled with them, but otherwise I'm just like, oh, this comes across as needy.
Yeah, that's why in a more timely manner do that, and it will flow together. It's worth the risk, and don't worry about it. It's just the human aspects, and if you put the effort in. They recognize it. It will pay off one way or the other. So
that's it.
Look at that. Our first shot of reality.
That's all we have.
Good. We got a good good 35 out of this. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to submit a question, we do this once a month for now. We're going to do this again in the first week of. We're going to record this at the end of this month and have it recorded we're going to record on the final. We're going to record on the final week of April this month, and we're going to air it the first week of May. So submit your questions on the episode description below, or go to the LinkTree on each social media network and type and go to Shot of Reality, and we have a segment there where you could write it on our Google Doc. Kayla, do you have anything else to add regarding that?
Not really. It's all anonymous. Put in whatever name you want. We're not going to judge, obviously, as you just saw. We're just going to talk about things, and most importantly, just I don't care how weird the situation, self-conscious about it you are. As I said earlier, it's like we're more than likely never going to meet, unless like you're one of my friends writing in. We're more than likely never going to meet. So who am I? Like I'm a stranger on the internet. Like that you wrote in, asked me a question. It's like. It's not like, oh, Jenny down the block knows, like, oh, Bobby wrote in about me. That's not anything like that. So it's just do us a solid, write us in. That way you can hear Matt and I get talk about this and get both sides of the gendered perspective on this. And hopefully good things happen for you from your advice.
Indeed. We got your back, everybody. So with that, thank you very much, Kayla, for coming on and doing this again. I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. And can't wait for the May edition for this.
Fingers crossed. No releasing it on the 5th because I'm going to be probably blackout drunk because that's my 31st birthday, and I've already decided I'm going to the Bronx Zoo.
Bronx Zoo.
No, it's 7th. I am going to the Bronx Zoo, and I am going to walk around, see all the animals, and get absolutely obliterated afterwards because I'm a mature fucking adult. And my best friend is going to have to take care of me more than likely. So at least let me listen to it before you release it.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have it recorded. We'll have it released for, we're going to aim for May 3rd.
Yeah,
and record it for the final week of April. So we'll go with that. So, all right, we'll be back here in May 3rd, Shot of Reality number 3. Thank you for all the people who submitted questions and answers. And we'll see you all very, very soon on the next edition. Thanks again, Kailen, for this.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.